So I'm going to show you how to navigate Canvas, my course through Canvas, where certain things are, important links that you need to know, how to find, where to find your assignments and things like that. Most of you guys are going to be using your iPads to go through Canvas. So that's the platform I'm going to show you right here. I'm actually using my phone. So on your iPad it'll probably look a little bigger, probably a little better. Obviously it's going to look the best if you're at a computer. But like I said, most of you are going to be on your iPad, so I wanted you to see what it looked like from the iPad standpoint. And then after I show you just real quick how to get through the course, I'm going to swap over to the computer view. That way you can see some things in a little bit more detail. The first thing I'm going to do, and this is actually more of a cosmetic thing, it's just a preference thing for me, but if you look up here at these three lines right here, first of all, you notice how the course is kind of grayed out. And you'll have your other courses here when you log in, and you'll probably notice that they have a color, or maybe if your teacher, like me, put a picture there, it's going to have a color over the picture. So this is just a preference thing, but if you click on those three dots right there, those three lines right there, you'll see some options, and you see the color overlay that's selected right there. If you unselect that, it's going to make your courses look a little better. See, now the image looks a little clearer at that point, and that'll do that for all of your courses. Like I said, you guys will have several courses listed here. I've just got the one that I'm showing you today. So here we are, Texas history. If you're in my reading class, I'm using the same video because it's the same navigation to get to the course. So here we go. So you'll click on your class, and it'll pull up all of your options. You've got your home page at the top. You've got announcements, modules, etc., etc. This is where all of your information is. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to home page. That's the main page of the course. So you'll click that. And again, I'm on my phone. It's smaller. Obviously, it's going to look better on your iPad. You're going to have a bigger screen. It's going to look even better on a computer if you're at a computer. But here's everything that you're going to need to know where it's at. So you've got your weekly assignments, how to contact me, extra credit. And again, I'm going to go back on the computer and click on each one of these and show you what each one means. I just wanted you to kind of see where everything was. If you scroll on down, there's the link for your online textbook, how to navigate the course, which is what you're watching now. My office hours, how to set up a conference, and the remind information. So this is the home page. And again, I'm fixing to come back and go through all this again on the computer side of things. I just wanted you to see what it looked like from an iPad. So there's what it looks like. The only other thing I really want you to see what it looks like from your iPad is weekly assignments, because it's going to look a little different than it does on the computer. You click that and you've got each week broken down into these modules. So if you click on week 1, there's your week 1 lesson, there's your week 1 assignment, so on and so on. Your discussion post we'll talk about in a minute. And then there's your lesson 2, week 2, lesson 2. You click on it, it's got all the information and whatnot that you'll need. Again, from a iPad, phone, like it looks not all this black right there. It looks nothing like that on the computer, and it shouldn't on your iPad either. So that's kind of a real quick overview of what Canvas looks like on your iPad or your phone. So now I'm going to swap over and I'm going to show you all those links in a little more detail, but I'm going to show you it from my computer so you can see it a little better. So here we are looking at Canvas from a computer point. Obviously it looks much better, a lot bigger. You can see now I have multiple classes listed here, which is kind of what you're going to have. As far as the color overlay on the computer, there's the three dots up here. That gives you the options, the color overlay. See, put the color on all of them. I don't like that. Took it back off. All right, so let's jump into Texas history. You've seen kind of the layout on your iPad. Now let's talk about each one of these links. I'm going to come back to weekly assignments in a minute. So the first one to look at is the contact information. That's just what it sounds like. It's how to contact me, when my office hours and conference hours are. If you look over here on the left, you see a conference link. That's where we're going to have our conferences. But you need to make sure that if you need to have that, you schedule at least 24 hours before. And this is mostly for the people who are doing remote instruction. If you're seeing me in class, we can meet in class when you see me. But anyway, my office hours are 9:35 to 10:05. And then every Wednesday, I'm going to just automatically be in that conference room, and you can come and go as you please on Wednesdays. Same time, 9:35 until 10:05. That's midway through the week, and I can kind of answer any questions that you might have based on that week's assignments and whatnot. So over here, anytime you're somewhere, you can click home to go back to home page, or on a lot of pages, I've put this return to home down here at the bottom. Either one will get you back to this main home page. Next link extra credit right here. If you click that, that's going to take you to any extra credit opportunities that are available at the time, and whenever they're available, any directions for that will be posted right here, how to turn it in, submit it, etc., etc. There's nothing available at the moment because we're just starting school. Questions. So if you ever have any kind of questions throughout the course, just basic how to navigate, how to get to something, maybe basic assignment questions, whatever, you can click on that questions link and it's going to take you to this discussion post. And an important thing to remember, anytime you're doing a discussion post, I have a lot of people that want to type their answers right here where it says search entries or author, and they'll type out this really long thing, and then they'll be ready to post it, and they can't, because that's not where you post your discussion. Whenever you are posting or replying to a discussion, you have to click this reply button right here, and then type in this case, type your question there, and then you would hit post reply. Now, anytime you're in this, I'll answer them as quick as I can get to them, but if maybe you're here to ask a question and you see someone else has asked a question and maybe you know the answer or I've already answered it for you, feel free to reply to them and say, hey, this is what Mr. Williams said, whatever, and then I'll verify that whenever I'm able to get on. But feel free to talk back and forth and helping each other answer some of these questions. But again, anytime in a discussion post, make sure that you click that reply down here. Do not type them in here. I've had many people do that, and then they have to retype their entire answer or discussion post. Okay, so this is for questions. Your syllabus, I'll come back to that in just a second. Online testing. This is, if you've done it in the past, which I know you have, if you've been in HAL before, this is like your online aware testing that you do on your iPads. Not all of our tests are going to be taken through this platform, but some of our benchmark tests definitely will. So if you click it, it's going to take you to this login screen, and we're not going to go over this right now. Whenever it's time to take a test through this, I'll give you directions, login information, and all that. I just want you to know how to access it, and it's right there. But again, most of our tests are not going to be in that. That's just like for our benchmark tests that we'll have maybe once a 6 weeks, if that. Classroom reward tracker, which we'll talk about the syllabus in a minute, but in the syllabus it tells you that each class has a jar of marbles. Well, normally these are in class, and every time the class does something good, you get a marble added. Whoever gets their jar filled up first wins, and they get whatever prize or reward is in place at the time. Since we're going through what we're going through now, the marble jar is online, it's interactive, and here's what it looks like. I'll keep track of the tallies down here. 30 is a full jar, so whenever a class reaches 30, they've won. Something to remember, two things. One, I'll never take marbles out. Once you earn them, you earn them. They're yours to keep. And two, when a class reaches 30, all the other classes have until the end of that day. And at that point, all marbles are emptied and everybody starts over. Only one person can win the incentive, or one class can win the incentive at a time. So make sure you're watching this and keeping track of how your class is doing. And I can give marbles for all kinds of things. Maybe everybody turns in their homework on time. The class is just being really good, things like that. I know some of you are online, so it's not really fair that, if you're part of a class and you're not even here to get the reward marbles for behavior. I understand that. I'll tweak that a little bit. Like I said, I think this year probably most of the marbles will be rewarded for things like everybody turning their homework in or something like that. We'll just kind of have to play that one by ear and see how it goes. But that's where we'll keep track of it right here. And again, I'll put the number down here because it's impossible to count all those marbles in there. Projects. So you're going to have, and that's in the syllabus too, we'll talk about in a minute, you're going to have projects this year. I'm going to have to modify these a little bit, obviously, because we're not in class. It's going to be hard for you to build certain things, so they'll be modified just a little bit. But these are all the projects you're going to have through the entire year. And, I don't like to do just tests or just bubble sheet answers. I'd like for you guys to actually use the information you're learning and create something with it to show me that you know what you're doing and that you know about the topic. So these are all of your projects throughout the year, and as we go through, I'll start adding due dates. Your first one is the Explorer Journal. It'll be due during the first 6 weeks, and I'll get that due date added soon. But if you click on these, it'll show you, what you're supposed to do. Again, we'll go over this when it's closer time for it to be due. But then you would just come down here, and I'm on teacher view, not student view, but you would have a submit assignment. I think it's up here actually, and you would submit it when it's done. But again, details and instructions for how to do the projects and all of that will come as we get to them. I just wanted you to know where you could find a list of all of your projects. part of your project, you're going to have to do research. You're going to have to look up information. For instance, if you're doing a project over the Alamo, well, you're going to have to look up information about the Alamo to use it and to know it. So right here will be research sites, and that's actually going to take you to the library's website, and they've got a link there of a bunch of different places you can use. We're just waiting to get the login information for that. That's why it's not linked yet, but it will be very, very soon. Sources. So every project, every paper you write has to have sources, and a source is where you get your information. And you're going to learn a little bit more about sources during week 2. There's going to be a lesson on that, so don't feel overwhelmed about what a source is right now. Just know that when you do a project or you write a paper, you have to have the source page. And again, the source is where you got the information. If you did a paper on George Washington and you told me his birthday, well, how did you know that? You had to research it and you had to find it somewhere. So you're going to list that on your source page. So source page, this is a video, and again, you're going to watch this video in week 2, and it just tells you how to set up your source page and things like that. So you'll use those research sites, or you can use other sites to find sources. You'll put them on your source page, and you will always include a source page with your project. But again, we'll talk more about that on week 2. This is coming soon, online textbook. That's just basically what it says. It's your online textbook for Texas history. That'll be its own video. I'll show you how to navigate that textbook, how to log into it, and all that stuff. And then how to navigate this course, that's what you're watching now. So you already know what that is. This is the office hours again. My classes are set up on Remind. This just allows me to send out messages, maybe if a project's due or if we have a test coming up or something like that. So be sure that you sign up for that as well. You can do the text message, or you can download the Remind app. It's a little easier to use if you want to go that route, and just put this code in right there. That's the class that you're going to join. Okay, so let's go up here and look at the 2 things that we skipped over, and that's the weekly assignments and the syllabus. I'm going to start with the weekly assignments. So this is where you're going to go every week. So since we're kind of on an online platform, I'm going to give you your lessons and your assignments on a weekly basis. So everything will be assigned on that Monday. If we're not in school that Monday, that Tuesday, and everything will be due the following Monday. Same thing, if we're not in school the following Monday, it'll be due whatever day we're in school again, whether it be Tuesday or Wednesday or whatnot. So weekly assignments, everything's given to you by week. And if you click on it, I'm going to collapse these down a little bit. All right, so here's everything I have in so far. Some of this you won't see. I don't have it published, as you can see, so this is hidden from you guys. All you're going to see right now is what I've got in green. So you'll see the week 1, the week 2, and the projects. The week 1, so if you click it, that's where we are this week. So you've got your lesson for the week, you've got your assignment for the week, and then you've got your daily warm-ups for the week. So let's start with the lesson page. And it's just a page. You've already been here because you're completing this lesson right now. Normally this is where the lesson would be, but this week all you have to do is watch this video and tell me that you understand how to navigate the course. Anytime you click on something, if you want to get back to the list of just assignments, you can click on the modules over here, and it takes you right back to it. So after you've done the lesson, you're basically just going to move through these in order. So if you go to the assignment, your assignment is after you watch this video that you're watching now, that you write a response that you watched the video and you understand it. Something that we're having to do this year is, because of everything going on, we have to keep attendance in kind of a weird way. Basically, you have to do something in the classroom, whether you're online or in person, every day. So what I've done in my class is every day you're going to have a warm-up, and it's usually going to be a discussion post. And you can see them right here, and I'll always have them by date so you know exactly which one to do. These will only be available on the date that it says. So this August 19th, it's only available on August 19th. If you tried to click on it any other day, it's not going to open, and so on and so on. So if you click on the day that you're on, August 19th, here's your very first discussion post, your very first attendance credit. Now you have to do these daily if you want to be counted present, if you want to be counted in attendance. So even the remote learners, it's important that you log in every day and at least do this discussion post. You can maybe work on all your work for my class that's due the following Monday. Maybe you can do it all on Wednesday or whatever. That's fine. But you have to log in every day and at least do that discussion post on that day. So here's your day 1 discussion post. It's basically just introducing yourself. Some of you may have already done this, or this might be the next step that you do after you complete this video and submit your assignment. Here's the week 1 discussion, and again, make sure that you always click the reply down here. Don't type it in there And now let's say that maybe you forgot to do the discussion post on that day, or maybe you were sick and you couldn't do it, or whatever. You can always email me. It's always going to let you read it. It just might not let you reply. You can always email me your answer to the discussion post, and that way you get grade credit. But you will not get attendance credit because technically you were absent that day. If there's, basically I split the discussion post up by however many days we're in school that week, and it's 1 grade at the end of the week, 1 daily grade. So if we're in school for 5 days that week, each discussion post is worth 20 points, and you could have a total grade of 100 at the end. But again, if for some reason you can't log in that day to do this, just email me your response, and I'll get you grade credit for doing it. You just won't get the attendance. So back to modules. I mean, that's pretty much what it's going to look like. Week 2, I'm just about done with. Obviously, there's a little more information in it because we're getting into the lesson. So, with the week 2 lesson, see, it looks a little better here on your iPad or your phone. It had that big black box there. It shouldn't have that on your iPads, but the phone, since it was so small, it did. So I'm going to insert the lecture video here. That's just me teaching you about what we're doing this week. You've got up here what we're doing this week. And then if you just scroll through, it tells you everything you've got to complete this week. Study your vocabulary words, watch this video about the source page that I just showed you, and then complete the week 2 assignment and the timeline questions. So all of this stuff and all of this stuff, that's all going to be found under week 2. Here's your vocabulary and your types of maps. Here's your assignment that you have to complete. And there's another assignment that you have to complete. So all this is due. So I'll assign this on August 24th. That's the Monday. And it's all due the following Monday, which would be, it would be August 31st. So it's due no later than the next Monday. The daily warm-ups, however, like we just said, they're due on the day that's listed. That's how you get your attendance credit. All right, so let's run back to the home page and look at one last thing, which is the syllabus. A lot of what's in the syllabus I've just told you about, so we can kind of skip over it. You really don't need a lot of materials this year because it's an online classroom. Maybe just your basic classroom materials. This talks about all of the rules and stuff. Be good for a substitute teacher, things like that. So I'm going to let you guys read through this on your own. You know where to find it. Again, we've talked about most of it already. This kind of gives you a glance at what we're going to be doing all year. Here's the projects each 6 weeks. So that is pretty much it. The only other thing I think I didn't show you back on the weekly assignments, I've got all of your projects listed down here. This is where you will actually turn them in when they're due. Now, most of these I haven't even uploaded the directions, so you have no way of doing them at this point. But again, when I assign a project, I'll let you know when it's due and where to find the information about it and things like that. So don't stress too much over that. You just know where to find them at this point. So that, I guess, is how to navigate the Canvas course. If you're watching this on week 1, you need to hop on over to your weekly assignments right here, and you need to come down to this assignment and follow the directions and submit your answer that you've watched the video and you understand how to navigate the Canvas course. So good luck, guys, and I'm looking forward to a great year. I wanted to hop back on real quick and clarify something. When you're looking at Canvas from your iPad or your iPhone or your phone, again, it looks a little different than it does on the computer, so I wanted to talk real quick about the navigation side of it. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to go to the weekly assignments right here. And when I click that, it pulls up the modules that we just finished talking about. Let me collapse that down. So on the computer, we saw that over here you had options like the home button to go back home or the module button to view what we're viewing now. You don't have that option on a device like this. So basically, you're just going to have to rely up here on the back button. So like if you go to week 1 and you're in the week 1 lesson and you need to get back, all you have to do is just come up here and click the back button. It'll take you back to the page you were before. And so again, you're going to have to rely on that back button when you're navigating. If you click back all the way, it's going to take you to this page right here. And these are the options that you would normally see on the computer screen over here on the side. You just don't see it on a device like this. But again, just you're going to have to rely on that back button. You do have the option down here, the dashboard button. When you click that, that takes you back to the main screen with all of your classes. So basically, on a device like this, you're just going to have to rely on the back button. I'm on a page now. This is the extra credit page. If I needed to get back to the home page, I'm going to have to rely on that back button, the source page. Now, again, I did add these links on it. Those are still going to be available to you on your device, and you can always click that as well to get to the home page. But when you're in areas like the modules, this area, you don't have that option to just go straight back home. So you'll just have to back it up until you're there. And I think that is officially how to navigate Canvas. I'm sure there'll be more questions, and again, you can email me, you can throw them in the questions box, maybe somebody else can answer it before I can get to it. Whatever, just reach out to me however you can.